A few weeks ago in our Discord server, totally free to join by the way, linked below, I received a message from CKY reading, "Hello Greg, I thought this PC selling website would be an interesting idea for a video. It claims to sell, quote, trading computers, which are really just overpriced, custom-built PCs. I recommend watching the introduction video on the site as it is pure irony." Let's kick things off with that intro video then.
Hi everybody, this is Eddie Z from Easy Trading Computers. I've been trading the financial markets electronically for over 15 years, and during that time I've come to learn what technology works the best and what doesn't. If you found this site, it's probably because you're shopping for a trading computer. Well, let me warn you, there are companies out there charging an arm and a leg for computer technology and taking advantage of your lack of knowledge. To help you, I've created a video series and a 19-page buyer's guide on how to buy a trading computer. The free guide and videos will teach you exactly what you need to know about buying an awesome system without getting ripped off.
You know, you don't need an entire book on trading computers. It's pretty straightforward, and we'll talk about that a bit later. But while I don't necessarily appreciate the bait and switch of don't get ripped off, so give me your email and I'll send you a book that tells you how not to get ripped off, I think the bigger issue is the fact that once you do enter your email, you're inundated with pages upon pages of email whitelist instructions, because apparently Google and others send his messages straight to spam. I mean, just look at this. Whitelist instructions for tons of platforms, front and center on his site. It just seems a bit odd. This is just overkill. It almost looks creepy. And in case you're wondering, I did receive his email. It never went to spam, but I never received a free book either.
Another huge mistake I see guys make is not doing enough research into finding out what kind of technology they need, and instead of going to Best Buy, they wind up at some super slick website buying a trading computer for thousands of dollars more than they need to. Believe it or not, there are companies out there that are selling trading computers and taking advantage of your lack of knowledge.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. I plan to go much deeper, and I hope you'll stay with me. If you're planning your next PC build, then consider checking out our sponsor, VIP SCD Key. Their Windows 10 and 11 OEM keys sell for a fraction of retail and will unlock the full potential of your OS. They'll also remove those pesky activation watermarks. Click the links below to get started today, and be sure to use our special offer code SKGS for a sweet discount on a variety of options, including Windows 10 and 11, Pro and Home, and more. For rebooks aside, the meat of this video is his computer selling business, and while I will certainly be critical, I want to make it clear that my goal is not to take random dunks on random small businesses just for the sake of it. I run small businesses, I get it, but at the end of the day, my priority is the general consumer, because I'm one myself. So if I smell BS, I'm going to call it out, and you're more than welcome to do the same with me and mine. We're all fair game here. I try to avoid putting myself or my company in situations like this, but that doesn't stop some folks.
If you haven't already heard, at least 80% of being a successful trader is your psychology, your state of mind. If you get pissed off at your computer or a bad execution, you're going to trigger your fight or flight response, and I promise you're going to make bad decisions and fatal trading mistakes.
We'll begin with the home page. We find a large video, that's the one we played at the beginning of this one, some tabs up top, a logo, some information on stocks and options, and some basic appeals to traders. Remember, again, this is a trading PC website, so for folks that like to dabble in the stock market. Stock and options traders require powerful processing to handle literally dozens of symbols, option chains, and charts in a multitude of time frames, and stating you'll have all the power you need with his machines. Now, to be clear, you could trade on pretty much anything with an internet connection nowadays, yes, including your cell phone, and that's actually a popular way to do it now. There's a sort of intermediary, there's a middleman between you and a trade. It's usually an exchange or a brokerage, and your own network connection plays a huge role in that. By the time a stock price pops up on your screen, it could be long gone because the numbers that are being filtered through so many outlets beforehand end up taking time before they reach your screen. It could never pop up in the first place for the same reason. There could be a stock price that pops up for a few milliseconds and it's completely gone before you ever have the chance to see what's happening, because you're just not getting the data quickly enough. It's why many wealthy firms purchase direct market access, or DMA, to the New York Stock Exchange and others to limit trading latency and maximize efficiency. This is not a financial channel, but it's important that you understand the basics here, because it's to what the owner of Easy Trading Computers is appealing. His logic is that if your PC is fast enough, you'll be able to run special programs with custom indicators for precise trading. And while that may be true, it isn't the entire story. There are still underlying limitations that even a lightning-fast PC on a local ISP will never circumvent. And again, I have a feeling the owner already knows this. Speaking of, who is the owner? He has a huge About Us page. It's huge is an understatement, actually. There's several paragraphs, and it's just a synopsis of his professional career for the most part on Wall Street. His legal name is Russ Hazelcorn, not Eddie Z, and he discloses this further down the page. His mailing address is in Davie, Florida, which is just north of Miami, but his company isn't registered as Easy Trading Computers or Easy Breakouts, which he states further down as well, with the state of Florida, something that only became apparent once I received his newsletter by email. Whether or not intentional, we can see that his company has in fact been in business for over a decade, but it was filed with the state as a foreign corporation out of Nevada. The officer's name appears to be either an alias or a partner, someone by the name of I. Mantilla, listed as the president, and Hazelcorn, in case you're wondering, is listed as the CEO. First impressions of the site are A, it's pretty cluttered, and B, it's not a PC selling site. The homepage tells me nothing about what's actually being sold. In fact, nearly half of it is an attempt to either sell itself as a legitimate business or one of its books. Not really a great start in my opinion. My suggestion would be to rework this to direct users to your actual products, you know, the stuff that actually makes you money. Speaking of, we can get there by clicking the Desktops tab up top, then clicking Desktop Trading Computers. Right away, we can see that he's offering a 5-year warranty, lifetime tech support, free shipping, full customization, and no credit financing. I'm not really sure how this is a thing, but we're just gonna roll with it. The top PC is called Bulletproof Easy Trading Computer, and it sports an Intel Core i5-13400, 16 gigs of RAM, a 250 gig NVMe, and Windows 11, all for the price of $1,500. So there you have it. He's selling a Windows 11 PC, and well, there's an issue with this you probably already noticed, but for all intents and purposes, it's like any other Windows PC out there. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing that necessarily makes it a trading computer, and you shouldn't be expected to pay a huge premium just for that title. 16 gigs is questionable for a bulletproof trading PC, and a 250 gig SSD is kind of laughable in this budget. He seemingly substituted the graphics card section for, again, a description of monitor support, but this obviously doesn't answer our question. And quick side note, in case you're wondering, he does sell monitor packages with included stands, which is kind of cool. I mean, the premise of it is cool, but without knowing which models we're talking about, my faith and value is a bit lacking, and these, at least in their photos, don't look to be all that expensive. But the elephant in the room here is neglecting to mention the graphics card. Please don't tell me we're expected to run on integrated graphics. I don't see how it's possible. He's got to be including some form of discrete graphics again, at least in these higher end models, because some of the processors don't have integrated graphics on their own. The Super Trader has a Core i5-14600KF. The Viper X14, this is a Core i7-14700F. Even the Core i9 variant is an F SKU, which means that they don't have integrated graphics, which means you have to have a discrete card inserted. So something's got to be there. Perhaps some of his clients and his testimonials don't care what they're getting, but anyone who values hard-earned money should. And these are questions that should be answered by the site itself. I shouldn't have to call in to find this out.
Thank you for calling Easy Trading Computers. We may record this call to ensure that we provide you with the best possible service. Easy Trading, can I help you?
Hi, I just had a question about the Bulletproof Easy Trading Computer. I don't see a graphics card listed. I wanted to know what card I would get in that rig if I purchased it.
How many monitor support do you require?
Just 4 will be fine.
That particular machine has an integrated graphics card. That one has the Intel HD, I want to say it's 650 if I'm not mistaken, but it's built into the motherboard.
Oh, okay. So I'm just curious then, so if I got the 6 monitor or the 8 monitor support, do you know what cards I would get in either of those?
Yeah, we would use NVIDIA Quadro series.
Okay, do you know what specific Quadro cards? Because I know there's a lot of different ones.
I think it's a special edition version, SE, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay, but not like you don't have like the model number, like which one?
I do not.
This last PC is pretty funny, by the way. The Dominator X7 costs over $3,000 and still only ships with 16 gigs of RAM and a 500 gig NVMe. Unless there's an RTX 4090 in here, which I highly doubt, things are getting pretty ridiculous if they weren't already. I would never recommend anyone spend this kind of money without knowing specifics. Heck, we don't even know what kind of cooler each of these CPUs is being paired with, and for all we know with this one, liquid cooling could be something stupid like a 120mm AIO, just, massive underkill for a CPU of this caliber. They sell trading laptops as well, by the way, which are likely just just rebranded OEMs. Thankfully, they're concrete with the discrete graphics in these. I don't think they really have much of a choice here. I'm actually much happier with the way these are disclosed overall, something that you should definitely emulate on the desktop side. Having to call to find out vital specs. It's just not a good look. On the subject of prices, however, these laptops, they seem by and large to be significantly overpriced. Their Odyssey X7, for example, houses an AMD Ryzen 9 7945X, 16 gigs of RAM, 500 gig NVMe, and an RTX 4060, and a 17-inch 1440p, I almost nailed it, footprint for $3,300. Compare that to a random Lenovo Legion Pro I found online with the same processor, double the RAM, quadruple the storage, and an RTX 4080, all for the price of $2,300. $1,000 less for a product that is significantly better. I would say probably twice as good. Look, traders may not care much for the graphics card in the systems with which they trade, but why on earth would you spend this much more? Surely out of principle, you should stay far away from this machine. I'm glad that they're more forthcoming with what's actually in here, but the price is offensive, really.
Trading is a profession and a skill. You wouldn't see surgeons buying their instruments at Walgreens or a professional tennis player buying his tennis racket at Walmart.
This part's hilarious because I'd be willing to bet that he sources a majority of his desktop components from Amazon. Look, not defending Walmart here, but the prices you pay for certain things aren't always indicative of quality. Case in point, his own machines. If you find a great deal on a great component from a great company with a great warranty and you're already in the market, buy it. If you've got the disposable income, buy it. The idea you'd have to go through someone like him to receive quality products is just a farce. In my opinion, it seems like he's trying to brainwash folks, maybe old folks trading on their 401ks, I don't know, who know very little about the industry, into thinking companies like his are the second coming of Jesus. In reality, my impression of easy trading computers is that they're manipulative. Again, it's just my opinion, but I can't in good faith recommend a company that's not willing to be forthcoming about what they're actually selling. And the prices, he's lacking so much specificity, relevant stuff that's just completely omitted. Paragraphs upon paragraphs exist of what I believe to be senseless fluff in its place, and videos like this one just give off straight Kool-Aid vibes, and no, not the good kind. I do sincerely hope that should Russ see this video, he internalizes the feedback and makes changes to better suit his own business and his customers. I don't have any ill will toward him personally, although I do think that some of the things he's done with his business so far are very, very questionable. Like, this is coming from somebody who's been doing YouTube for a while with a very, very critical YouTube audience. It's just part of doing what we do. It comes with the territory, and I have become a little more hardened from it for sure. But it's also humbled me. It's made me appreciate the things that I know I do well, and kind of forced me to improve the things that I maybe didn't do so well in the beginning. So take this as a learning experience, Russ, if you're watching this. There are things that I think we could do to very quickly turn around the impressions. A lot of it, again, has to do with the site and the way that things are just thrown at you up front. Maybe changing some of the wording, scrapping some of the really questionable videos, my friend. They're not great. So yeah, and of course I'm here too if you want to reach out to me. I'm not a guru know-it-all. I don't claim to be. I just think it would be a nice change of pace to alter some of the things that you have on there to appeal to an audience that's perhaps a little more PC savvy, so that you don't give off such a foul impression. The only clients I really see you having are those who either know very little about computers or very little about trading, or maybe both. And maybe that's by design. But after first clicking on your link in our Discord server, I could not help but call it out. It just smells a little too fishy. But with, again, a few hours of work, I have no doubt you can turn it all around. Only time will tell if you decide to. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and thanks for learning with me.